Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, I really wanted to do a declutter of all my makeup. I don't have a very large collection by any means. For somebody that is so interested in makeup and devotes most of her free time to looking at new products and formulations and techniques, I don't actually have that big of a collection. That being said, a lot of my makeup is comprised of stuff that I've just been collecting over a number of years. A lot of it was gifted, a lot of it's just like passed down. I've been slowly getting rid of it, but right now I don't have any more room to add more makeup to my collection. So trying to get rid of some things so that I can make room for new ones. If you'd like to see me take my small collection to an even more curated collection, then please keep watching. Okay, so for the past couple of years, I've been storing my makeup in these acrylic storage drawers. So I just pull out one of these drawers and I'll declutter them drawer by drawer. In this drawer, I have my primers and concealers, it looks like, and some color correctors. So I'm going to pull everything out of this box and lay it onto my towel. I've put a towel down to protect my floors, and then I will kind of organize them by type and product, and then we can declutter from there. Okay, so I've taken out my primers. As you can see, I only have two. One is the Tatcha, the Silk Canvas. It's like that putty version, and this is basically the dupe for it. I've had this one for quite a while, and I didn't really actually use too much of it, as you can see. This kind of had its moment of fame a number of years ago, and that's why e.l.f. likes to dupe all of those viral products. I've put much more of a dent in my e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. To be completely honest, I prefer the e.l.f. one because the Tatcha one has some fragrance. Also, I'm swatching these a little bit right now, but I'm going to try to hurry along this video because if I swatch everything one by one and go into detail about the reviews, then this video is going to go on forever. So I'm going to only give little reviews when necessary and some swatches, but I won't swatch everything. So what I'm going to do is, because I only have these two primers, I can afford to keep both of them in my collection. I will probably repurchase the e.l.f. Putty Primer once this is done, but I don't think that I'm going to need this one at all. But I'll try to use it up for now. So these are my color correctors. I have these two newer ones to me. These are both from LA Girl. These are the Pro Conceal High Def Concealers, and I have mine in the green corrector and the peach corrector. I use both of these. This is the Benefit Erase Paste in #1 Fair. So this is a concealer, but because it has such a salmony tone to it, I kind of use it as a color corrector. I honestly don't use it as much anymore, and this is actually incredibly old. So I think I'll probably declutter this, just because if I ever go for a color corrector, then I'm going to use my LA Girl ones. Okay, moving on to concealers. I know for sure that I want to get rid of my e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. I greatly prefer this to the original e.l.f. Camo Concealer, which is like the Tarte Shape Tape dupe. And it's like completely matte, and that one really didn't suit my skin at all. But I've been making this one work, or trying to make this one work. The shade doesn't really work for me. It is the shade Light Sand. It looks like it's separating. I've used up quite a bit of it trying to get used to it. Yeah, I think it's time to declutter this one because I don't really reach for it at all. This is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser, and I have mine in the shade Ivory. So this is a lot lighter. Let me see if I can get it out. This is a great formula. I honestly have not been able to find my perfect ideal shade in this one either. This one does a really great job at brightening, but sometimes I feel like it's a little bit too yellow. However, I will keep this one for now because I do like the formula and it does accomplish the task that I am trying to accomplish with it. This is the LA Girl Pro Conceal concealer in the shade Vanilla. Why I picked up this shade, I have no clue. It is also a little bit too light for me, but I will tell you, I'm going to keep this one because I like to use this one as a mixer for something that is too dark for me. Sometimes concealers, when they're not brightening enough, I like to mix in a little bit of this. And also a lot of times I like to go in with this peach corrector, mix it with this, and then it gives me actually a really nice custom shade. So I will be keeping this on hand. These two, I'm just gonna say right now, like I'm gonna keep these ones. These are my preferred concealers that I've been using since last year. I have them in two shades, vanilla and beige. Beige is closer to my actual skin tone and vanilla is slightly more brightening. I will swatch them. Okay, so this one is vanilla and this one is beige. Okay, those tend to work. And that is my primer and concealer drawer. I only got rid of these two items. Okay, now we will move on to this drawer, which has a bunch of random products. It has more complexion, it has my tinted moisturizers, foundations, powders, and it looks like a random setting spray, but we'll go through this. Okay, first up in this drawer is my e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter. This is in the shade 3. So I love this product. It's very versatile. I like to use it as a primer and I like to use it under more full coverage foundations to give them a little bit more of a natural finish. Yeah, I don't really have anything bad to say about this product. If I were to repurchase it, I'd probably repurchase shade 2 rather than shade 3, but I think shade 3 is good for giving me a little hint of color sometimes. That's shade 3. So this is being kept. In the name of tinted moisturizers, I have the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Tinted Moisturizer and the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator. I got this one a little bit earlier than the other one, and I don't know, a lot of people really like this. This shade is fine because it's like pretty, I mean, obviously it's like sheer coverage, so it can blend into my skin tone easily. I never really got the hype around this product. I feel like even on my dry skin, sometimes I tend not to gravitate towards this in the summers because, I don't know, it just gives me a little bit of a greasier, oily look. I feel like it sits on top of the skin a little too much, and brushes leave a little bit of a streaky finish on the complexion. So this I will probably actually declutter. I bought this Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator more recently, and this is what I prefer over the ColourPop Pretty Fresh one. I will squeeze out. Okay, that was actually way too much. This shade works pretty well for me. It is the shade Light Medium, and I like this product. I feel like it's a little bit more manipulatable. You can shear it out for a barely there type of wash, and you can kind of actually build this up to light medium coverage level as well. By the way, the shade that I have in the Pretty Fresh tinted moisturizer was the light 8N color, and that one is this one right here. Okay, so getting rid of this and keeping this. Now let's move on to the foundations. I know I'm gonna have to get rid of my Believe Beauty Skin Finish Foundation. This is a lovely foundation. It is an incredible value. It is $5 at Dollar General. I have mine in the shade Nude, and I use this quite a bit at one point. In the summer, I would probably mix in the next darker shade. I would mix that in, but this foundation is actually really nice. The reason I'm getting rid of it is because it's old and it's starting to have like a scent to it, so I feel like this is expired now. But if I ever end up at a Dollar General again, then I will repurchase this one, definitely. But for now, it's going. My next drugstore foundation is the Maybelline Superstay Full Coverage. I have mine in the shade Light Beige. And I don't typically gravitate towards full coverage matte foundations anymore, but they are necessary sometimes. I do like to have a matte full coverage foundation on hand for certain events and situations. So that is shade 118, Light Beige. It's a pretty decent skin match. I do remember that this oxidizes slightly on your face, so I would maybe get a shade that is a little bit lighter rather than deeper than your own skin tone. If I want to use this on more of daily wear or for not like an event or something, then I like to mix this in with my e.l.f. liquid filter. This will be kept for now. This is my Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation, I guess. in the shade Ivory. I really love this formula. It's super creamy, very easy to apply. You can kind of customize the coverage in the sense where if you put a little bit on, can become like a sheer thing, but you can also easily build it up to full coverage. It has great longevity. It looks really nice on the skin. The only thing is I can't really find a shade match. So this is the shade Ivory. And I feel like when I put this on, I never really like the way my complexion looks just because I feel like it's too yellow on my skin. I don't know. I'm gonna have to like think about this one because this one's kind of a hefty purchase. So it's been not really that easy for me to get rid of it. I'm gonna keep it in kind of like a third section, which I have going, which is kind of like the chopping block. So if I get some use out of this in the next couple of months, then I'll keep it. And if I don't use it at all in the next couple of months, then I will get rid of it. Pass it on to somebody else. Finally, we have my Misha Cushion Cover Lasting Compact. I did a full review of this on my YouTube channel. If you would like to see it, I can link that. But I'm still gonna keep this right now. It's not the best, but I have it. It's kind of newer, so I will try to use it up a little bit more and see if there's any way that I can use it perfectly. Shade's not bad. It is shade number 23 for me. And so this will be kept for now. Okay, the last contents of this box are some powders and my setting spray. I can say that I will keep this Milani Make It Last. I just bought this recently and it's doing a really good job at holding my makeup in place. I like the finish that it gives. It doesn't really mess with the finish of the makeup below it, so I'll be keeping this. I'm going to be keeping my e.l.f. Prime and Stay finishing powder in Fair Light. I just bought this off of the e.l.f. website as well. It's a pretty underrated product, very inexpensive, and it gets the job done very well. So I will be keeping this. I'm going to be keeping my Bare Minerals Original Foundation. I have mine in the shade Fairly Medium 05. And I depend on this quite a bit to add a little bit of color sometimes to set a lighter coverage product. These aren't really great swatches. But we'll be keeping, this has been in my collection for many years and I will probably repurchase this again and again. This is the original Bare Minerals Mineral Veil. So I have used up most of this and I've been trying to actually finish this up kind of for a number of months. And there is just a little bit left, but I actually don't have any more motivation to finish this up. There's nothing really wrong with it. It's very finely milled, translucent, but because I have other powders now that I prefer more, I just can't finish this up. So I'm going to be decluttering this. It's quite old anyways. So this is another one that I'm really on the fence about. It's not because of the quality of the product. I really just don't go for this at all. This is the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder, the Glow version. I bought this and it's just very hard for me when I buy high-end makeup to let go of it, but I have not liked this ever. I thought that this would be basically the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder, but just like maybe a little bit more of a hydrating version or something that just doesn't look as matte. And that's true, it doesn't. It definitely has a radiant finish, but it also gives gold glitter. So I can't really set my under eye with it, and setting my makeup is always gonna give me a very like shimmery, glittery type of finish. If you kind of concentrate a little bit more, honestly, we use just like a natural looking highlighter, but that's not like the look I go for with my makeup. When I need to set my makeup, I don't like to add glitter to it. So I think I'll be passing this along, and I will be keeping this little mini. I have the Laura Mercier Original Translucent Setting Powder. This is a very good powder, obviously a cult favorite. Absolutely no complaints with this, so I'll be keeping this instead of the Glow version. Okay, and that is my foundation and powder and setting spray drawer. This is what I'm keeping. It's a lot more manageable. And these are all the items that I will be getting rid of. Okay, so next I'm going to move into this drawer. This drawer has blushes, bronzers, contours, highlighters. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I will take everything out, separated by category, and we'll go from there. These are my contours and bronzers. I can tell that I'm going to be keeping these two. I just bought these two in order to have some drugstore options. And so this is the Revolution Cream Bronzer in, Ultra Cream Bronzer, sorry, in the shade Medium. And that's what it looks like. It is quite pigmented. I did use this in my last video, I believe. So if you'd like to go check that out, that'd be wonderful. So this is going to be kept. This is the new e.l.f. Halo Glow Beauty Wand in the shade Medium Tan. And I will be keeping this as well. So these are my products that are a lot older. So this is my oldest one. Too Faced still makes this bronzer. This is their Chocolate Soleil bronzer, but this is the very, very, very old packaging of it. This is in the medium deep shade. I can barely tell because it's like all messed up from the back. This is what that looks like, and it's a pretty solid bronzer, and there's nothing wrong with mine, so I'm going to continue using this. Finally, for contour, I have this Anastasia Beverly Hills contour stick in the shade Fawn, and I'll be keeping this. This one is better for when you want that true contour because it doesn't have like a yellowy or orangey base. It's a more gray toned. So I'll be keeping this as well. Here is my blush collection. Let's see. What I'm going to be keeping from now is the Honest Beauty blush in the shade Rose Pink. This is the old packaging. This is my favorite blush, and so it is going nowhere. It is going to be staying in my collection for now. I love the color, I love the formulation of it. Nothing has stopped this so far, so this is staying definitely. This is actually a no-brainer in the sense it's going. This is the mini of the NARS Orgasm blush, and I love the shade of it. It's just that I don't tend to prefer glitter in my blushes, and I feel like this one, you know, throws around a good amount of gold sparkle in it, and also it's like not really even swatching properly, so I'm just going to get rid of this. These are my two newest blushes that I placed in my e.l.f. order. This is the Primer Infused Blush in Always Punchy. So I thought this would be a pretty shade for the summer. It's not like swatching super heavily. It actually does come out very similar as the shade in the pan. So I'll keep this for now. This is the Milani Luminoso blush, and so this is a pretty viral product. I've had mine forever, and I mean, I understand the hype around this product. It's a beautiful product and has a beautiful sheen that's not glittery and not sparkly like that. It's just very pretty. And so I will be keeping my Luminoso blush. Oh, the other e.l.f. one. This I have, it's a highlighter and blush combo. It's the bite-sized duo in Spiced Apple. I don't know, I like the formulation of this. I'll swatch the blush. It is this blush right here. So it's a pretty color, not something I gravitate towards. It's a little bit more peachy rather than pinky, and the highlighter I feel is like way too deep for my skin tone. So I mean, they do actually make really pretty eyeshadows. I think I'll keep it for now. I might not even use it as a blush and a highlighter, but maybe as like a little eyeshadow duo. It's a nice product, but I just feel like the shades don't really work for me as a blush and highlight. So I'll keep this for now, but it is on the chopping block, and if I don't use it in the next 2 months, then I will pass it on. This is my newest blush. It is the Tower 28 Beach Please cream blush in the shade Office Hours. It's like a nice mauve tone, and I really like this so far. I'm just going to swatch this, and then it's going to go back in my, oh yeah, that's nice, drawer. I really like these like super creamy blushes that have that just like solid cream performance, in the sense that I used to have the e.l.f. Putty blush, and those are like almost like cream to powder for me. I like that dewy, thick kind of just creaminess that these blushes maintain on the cheeks. By these blushes, I mean the Tower 28 one and the Honest one, and the next one that I'm going to show, which is the Milk Makeup Lip and Cheek Stick in the shade Work. And this shade doesn't work with my skin tone all the time, just because it shears out quite a bit, and so it doesn't really look that punchy on my skin tone. But I'm gonna keep this and keep using this. It is a very pretty finish, and I do love the shade. It's just that it doesn't, I have to build it up quite a bit sometimes in order for it to show up nicely on the skin or give an impact. But I'll be keeping these. And yeah, so the 3 ones that I'm keeping from here are the ones that have that just creamy finish. So I bought this Milani blush after hearing about this formula from a number of YouTubers and people in general. A lot of people love this one. This is the Cheek Kiss Cream Blush, and I have mine in the shade Merlot Moment. And I can't decide if it's the color that doesn't appeal to me anymore. It is actually very similar to my nail color right now, but I don't know, it just doesn't work that well on my cheeks. I feel like it is a very pigmented blush, and it shears out really nicely. I feel like it's what I just described with the other 3 blushes, where even right now you can see that they have like that kind of creamy sheen to this. This almost like blends out, almost not powder, I wouldn't say like a powder. It's very natural and it sits very close to your skin, so that's really nice, but it doesn't have that like thickness or that juicy quality that I'm looking for in a cream blush. And I don't know, this shade I don't like to gravitate towards all the time anyways, so I think I will pass this on. It's not very old, but I just don't gravitate towards it, so I'll probably get rid of this one. The last section in this drawer are the highlighters. I only have two. This is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector. This is in Champagne Pop. This is the old packaging. Becca's not even a brand anymore. They do still have this highlighter out, but under, I think, Smashbox. There's nothing really wrong with it, so I will be keeping this. It's a very pretty shade. For reference, this was the highlighter from the e.l.f. Duo in Spiced Apple, so you can see that this one is a lot brighter and will actually make the correct impact on my skin. This is a really pretty color for an inner corner highlight as well when you're doing your eyeshadow. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with this formula. I don't go for highlighter on a daily basis, not even my cream one. I would prefer a cream or a liquid to a powder anyways these days. And honestly, like even for events and stuff, like the other products that I use a lot of times, like my foundation and stuff, are just so glowy and dewy that I don't necessarily need a highlight anymore. But I did pick up this Flower Spotlight liquid highlighter in the shade Opal. This is a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury one. This is also a very pretty one. I mean, when you sheer it out, it's obviously a lot more wearable, but this is a very pretty highlighter as well. So I think I don't need more than just a one liquid highlight and one powder highlight, so I'll keep both of these. This is what I'm left with for my the rest of my complexion products. It's a tiny drawer, so I mean there isn't a whole lot of space left anymore. I'm only getting rid of these two things. I mean, my drawer wouldn't even close with these two little things, so maybe this will help a little bit more. That's that drawer. The next drawer that we're going to move on to is a bunch of like eye products. So there's mascaras, eye pencils, single eyeshadows in here, and eyeliners, those kinds of things. So let's go through this one now. These are my 5 brow products. I do my brows every single day, whether I'm out or not. So I mean, one of the only steps of my minimal makeup routine. So I mean, spoiler, I'm going to keep all of these. I will go through all of them. This is what I use on a daily basis. It's my e.l.f. Instant Lift brow pencil in the shade Deep Brown. I always have like a couple of these on hand. It's like a thicker tip, so it just like makes filling in your eyebrows go really quickly. This I like to use when I need a little bit more of a precise brow pencil. This is a great one, NYX Micro Brow Pencil. I have mine in the shade Black. You can obviously go for any drugstore eyeliner or any high-end eyeliner. They're almost all the same. It's just another one of those micro brow pencils with a spoolie at the end. This is the e.l.f. I can never remember if this is called the Wow Brow. Oh, it is called the Wow Brow. It's like come off entirely, but it says Wow Brow. e.l.f. Wow Brow in the deep brown shade. And this I like to use to set my brows lightly. Okay. I'm not really getting much on. It doesn't really deposit too much product anyways, but I like to have it for days where I want to keep my brows light. Either I will use this by itself or to lightly set something else. This is the e.l.f. Brow Lift. I honestly don't use this that often. I do have it in my brows right now, but I want to kind of get the hang of using these types of clear brow gels to kind of get that laminated look. So I'll be keeping this, and this is the NYX Thick It Stick It Thickening Brow Mascara, and I have mine in the shade Espresso. So this is a little bit more intense than the e.l.f., but I do use it quite often, so I'll be keeping this as well. These are my, what I would call my single eyeshadows. I don't use eyeshadow every single day. When I do go for it, I tend to like go for like a one and done cream eyeshadow, so I do get use out of some of these. Honestly, not enough, but I have like such attachment to them. I don't even know where I got half of them, but I do have an attachment to my single eyeshadows. But let's go through them and see what we can do. These are the Ulta Beauty Matte Cream Eyeshadows. I have mine in the shades Vintage Beauty and Game Over. If you've seen my other videos, you'll know that I like to use these as eyeshadow bases, but you can't get them on Ulta anymore. I think they've discontinued them. These are really great products. I'm going to keep them so I can continue using them up. This is the Sephora Colorful Shadow and Liner. This is the waterproof version. I have mine in the shade Dark Brown Matte. So Sephora collection has like a ton of these like jumbo crayon pencils, and they're actually really high quality. I recommend them. A lot of the colors are really pretty. They have shimmer variations as well. I like to use this brown when I'm doing a smoky eye, so I like to use this as a base. They like are, once they set down, they're quite smudge proof and very long lasting. I also like to use this one as the eyeliner. I mean, dark brown shade you can't really go wrong with. It's very versatile. So I'll be keeping this. This is the Laura Mercier Mini Caviar Stick Eye Color in the shade Strapless. And I got this in like a Sephora Perks type thing. Yeah, it's a neutral shade. It's pretty. There's literally nothing wrong with it. I just don't tend to go for it. It's even like the type of shade that I would go for. I don't know why I don't pick this up that much. I don't know. I'll keep it. I'll try to give it a go. If I don't use it in the next 2 months, I will give it away. There's nothing really wrong with it, but that's what it is. This is like super, super old. I wonder if the balm even exists anymore. I know it does, but I feel like they're almost phasing out a little bit. This is a random single eyeshadow in the shade Fit. I'm probably going to get rid of this. It's very old. And I mean, it's a neutral color. It's taking up space and I don't really gravitate towards it, and probably I had this color in different variations anyways in palettes, so I will get rid of this. This is the first time I've noticed that this seems to be a little bit broken inside of here. This is the Ulta Beauty Bouncy eyeshadow. I have mine in the shade Italian Ice. Oh my god, it's actually broken. I've heard from other people's that theirs tends to break, but mine was holding on until just now, like literally just now. It's okay. This is a very, very pretty glitter topper. I've used this in some of my other videos as well. And, oh, that's so pretty. Anyways, I will be keeping this, and I'll probably pick up more shades in the future. I just bought this in this Sephora VIB sale. This is the Colorful Metal Effect eyeshadow in the shade number 33 Fantasia. It is so pretty. Oh my god. It's pink and it has like some silver sparkle and some gold in there. It is beautiful. Look at this. Oh, very excited to use this. That'll be kept, obviously. On the other hand, there's this like a really old Sephora product. They still have this shade, I've checked. This is the colorful eyeshadow in the shade Hollywood Calling. You can't even tell what this is anymore. It is a very pretty shade. I just can't use it because it's so old and broken up, and oh wow, this is embarrassing. Why do I even have this? It is a very pretty shade. I never really did it justice, never wore it, but that's what it looks like. If I need it, I will repurchase this shade, but honestly, like it's too old to use now, so this will be gotten rid of now. This is a newer purchase for me. This is the e.l.f. No Budge Matte Shadow Stick. I got mine in the shade Bombshell. I got this in a moment of, I don't even know, like trying to be a little bit, I don't know, wild. This is me going wild, like getting a pink shade. It's okay, nothing wrong with it. I probably should have actually got more of a practical shade for me, in the sense I feel like a taupe color or a brown color would have been more versatile in my collection. It seems to be a decent eyeshadow base. This color doesn't look so great when it goes onto my eyes, but as an eyeshadow base it'll work. Yeah, I would recommend these, but I'm not too big a fan of the shade that I got. The outside packaging is a little bit different than what actually comes out, and I would have preferred it if it was a little bit more similar to this. That being said, it's not bad. I'm gonna keep it for now. I just got it, so I will try to figure out the best way to use this one. This is my Maybelline Color Tattoo Studio Color Tattoo Cream Eyeshadow in the shade High Roller. So this is a pretty decent one. I can use this one as a one and done. Oops, that was a bad swatch. As a one and done shade, and I can also use this as a base for other eyeshadow looks. So I will keep this. And these are some of the forgotten gems of the drugstore. These are the L'Oreal Infallible eyeshadows in Ice Latte, which is this beautiful, just light champagne color. My first one, which was in the shade Amber Rush. It is like this like rose gold, basically. Also beautiful. And this is the one in Bronze Taupe. And this is actually a very unique color because it's great for one and done, but it also like has sometimes like a shift to it. I don't know if that's catching on camera, but sometimes I can catch like a little bit of like a cooler silver type shift. But anyways, these are very pretty, and I will be keeping these. They're kind of old, but they work beautifully, and you can still get these in the drugstore, so highly recommend. Okay, this is my collection of pencil eyeliners. So I have, this is a very old, oh god, I don't know why I still have this. This is the Urban Decay. That swatch is even so bad. It's so old. This is the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Pencil in the shade Perversion. And I do believe they still sell all of these Urban Decay ones. It's just that mine's very old, and so I don't really need this anymore. I'll be getting rid of it. But to replace it, I did buy the Sephora 12-Hour Colorful Crayon Eye Pencil. It's waterproof, and mine is in the shade number 1 Black Lace. So, oh yeah, much better. Very creamy, punchy. I usually use this for my waterline and tightline. It does an okay job so far, better than a lot of other ones. I will continue to use this one. This is the NYX Wonder Pencil in the shade Medium. I'm actually not entirely sure that they even sell this anymore. When I bought them, I bought a couple to keep as backup as well. It's just like a nude eyeliner, so I like to use this to clean up some wings sometimes, and also in my waterline for some brightness. I'll keep that because it's quite useful. So these are 4 Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencils in various shades. This is the shade Muse. I can't be sure entirely if they even sell these anymore. If they do, I will mention it in the description box. But this is a brown. I think I'll actually probably keep this. I have the other Sephora one, so I don't know if I will. This will be on the chopping block. If I don't use this over my Sephora one, then I'll get rid of it. But if I do use that, then we'll see. This is the shade Delirious. It is like a shimmery eggplant purple. It is very pretty. I actually did get a bit of use out of these ones, these colorful ones back in the day. This is the shade Accuse. But I just do not. And then this is the shade Zodiac. There's also a very pretty like shimmery green. I think that I would. I like to use green sometimes and purple sometimes in my eyeshadow looks. I just don't. Maybe I could use the Zodiac one though. I know that I will definitely get rid of this blue just because I don't really use blue anymore in my eyeshadow looks. I can't decide. Should I keep these? I feel like if I were to go with these colors, I'll use them as eyeshadows now. So I feel like I don't necessarily need them. I'll keep these 2 on the chopping block along with the brown one. And if I don't use them in the next couple months, then I will get rid of them, but I will get rid of this blue one. Finally, in this drawer, I have my mascaras and eyeliners. Actually, I don't know what this is doing here. This is the Milani Brow Tint Pen. I'm gonna keep this. This is not good for my brows at all. It's quite warm and light for my eyebrows, but I actually use this for some particular things. Sometimes I like to use it as like a very just like natural eyeliner. I'll keep this close to my lash line and do like a slight wing. It looks like almost like a shadow wing or something. So I like to use that. And the other very specific reason I like to use this for is I like to, sometimes when my makeup is too heavy, I like to go over my beauty marks again with this pen and just kind of redraw them. You could probably even use it as like a freckle maker. I wouldn't know how to do that. I don't typically do that kind of stuff, but I like to use it to redraw on my beauty marks. So I will keep this. This is the Milani Stay Put Matte Eyeliner. I probably have spotlighted this in my last video. It's okay. I feel like I've seen better. Like I will use this. It'll be in my routine. I also have the NYX Epic ink liner, but that is still packaged. I will use this before I use that one. So I'll keep this one and that one as well. These are my 4 mascaras. I'm gonna get rid of this one. This is the Believe Beauty. I read on some random blog one time that this was a decent mascara. So I had bought this when I bought some other Believe Beauty things. And this is the High Drama Fiber Mascara. It doesn't really do anything. It's okay for every day, I would say. But if you have issues with your mascara crumbling or not staying put, I doubt this would be good for you. I don't really like this one, so I'm going to get rid of this. This is my newest mascara, the e.l.f. Lash and Roll, and placed in my e.l.f. order. This is the black version of it. I've heard the brown one is actually really good of this too. This is like a good everyday mascara. So whereas the Believe one was also an everyday mascara, this one I would say is better, but not for a dramatic lash. It does a decent job at separating the lashes. Not too much length in my opinion. It adds some volume. It's like decent for natural lashes, so I'll keep this one. These are 2 of my favorite mascaras. So this is the L'Oreal Lash Paradise Voluminous, and this is also the shade Black. This is the L'Oreal Telescopic Mascara, and this is also in the shade Black. These are very good staples to have on hand for dramatic looks. I use them all the time. I'll be keeping as well. my liner, mascara, eye drawer. I'm not getting rid of too much. I was actually hoping to get a little bit more than this because this drawer gets stuck with all these little things poking out of it. But I'm just getting rid of these products for now. We'll see about later in a couple of months. But all I can do for now. This is my final drawer. Then I only have my eyeshadow palettes left, I believe, after this. I really need to get rid of some of these things because you can't really tell, but it's coming up over the top and this drawer has quite a bit of difficulty closing. Hopefully I can make some room in this one. To start off with, I found this like random little mini SPF lip balm in there and I'm going to get rid of it. Even just this little thing is taking up too much space in my opinion for my lip drawer. I'll just put this in my purse and use this as my little SPF lip balm. Okay, moving on, let's start with the lip liners that I own. I will swatch all of these and I will show you which ones work for me and which ones don't. So I know that this one does not work for me. This is the NYX Slide On, Glide On, Stay On, and definitely a turn on. What is this, the entire name of this? Waterproof Extreme Color. Oh my god, it even says this lip liner is so good the name had to be this long. I did not realize that was the name of this lip liner. But this is in the shade Nude Suede Shoes. It's just actually too light for my lips. It gives me kind of concealer lips. I'm going to pass this one on. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat in the shade Pillow Talk. This is just, like, I mean, it's very similar to Nude Suede Shoes. It's a lot pinker, and you would think that if Nude Suede Shoes does not work for me, then this wouldn't either. This, I mean, it does. It's fine. It's not the best shade for me, but I do like it, and it is very similar to this NYX lip pencil in the shade Peekaboo Neutral. These two are just like bordering on being too light for me, but I'll keep these both for now because they work with the shades that I have in my collection, the lipstick shades. This is like a random eye pencil, sorry, what is it? A lip pencil, sorry, from the brand Lawrence. I got this in Saudi Arabia. It seems to be made in Germany, and I don't know, when I got it, I actually really liked it. It's like quite a stiff pencil, and if I could ever find this brand again, I might pick up other shades. I use this shade quite a bit too, but these days I don't gravitate towards it. I feel like it's a little too purple. I'll keep this anyways because I know that when I do go back to these shades that I'll miss this if I got rid of this. These two are from Primark. They are the PS brand. I think that's their own like brand that they hold. So these are very old. I have mine in the shade. Okay, so I do not know what shade this is. I can't find the shade on it, but this is basically another purple. It's even more purple than the last shade that I showed. I don't know, I don't really gravitate towards this at all anymore. So, I mean, if I were to grab one, then it would be this one rather than that one. So I think I can safely get rid of this one. This is the same brand, and this is like their red shade. This I will keep. One, for some reason, the formula has, oh, okay. I was literally in the process of saying the formula has held up a lot more than that one. I don't think that has to do with the formula necessarily, but oh, that's sad. I'm actually gonna keep this still. That's the first time that's happened. I think I was putting too much pressure on it. I don't have any other red lip liners in my collection right now. It is a necessity when you are doing like a full-on red lip, but I'll just sharpen this and continue to use this one. So this is the most recent one that I bought. I got it from Sephora. It is one of their lip liner to-goes in the shade Rosewood. And I thought this would be nice to go under my more pink lipsticks. So, I mean, it's not very different from this one, but I am sure you can tell that it's a little bit more pink and a little bit less purple. So I'm going to keep this. And these are kind of the liners that I've been using to contour my lips a little bit. This is NYX in Nude Truffle. I'll put that down here. This, in my last video, if you saw, is basically the exact shade of the outer margins of my lips. It's like really good for doing a nude lip. This is MAC Whirl. This I like to use as like, you know, a darker one to line my lips and then put something sheer or nude in the center. It's a very pretty color. And finally, this is also a newer purchase. This is the L'Oreal Color Riche Matte Sharpenable Liner in the shade 110 Mattes It. This is actually a very, very pretty shade as well. It is super creamy. I'm gonna get a ton of use out of this one as well, so I will keep these ones. Okay, moving on to kind of just like my standard format lipstick bullets. First, I found these like randomly at the bottom of my drawer. These seem to be some samples of Chanel lipsticks. Just gonna get rid of these. These are the lipsticks. Now, should I do swatches as well? Okay, I'll do swatches for these as well. This is very old. This is a Maybelline lipstick in the shade Neon Red. I don't know if they even still have this line. I'm going to get rid of this. I made it work for a number of years. And I mean, the thing with me is that I can make a product work. If I purchase a product, I will make it work. No matter what. I will mix it with other things. I will apply it underneath. I will blot it. I will do anything to make it work. So I have made this work with different variations of lip gloss and lip liner, but I'm just kind of over it now and I don't want to have to do that. So I'm going to get rid of it. I've used it enough and it's quite old now. That's Neon Red. On the other hand, I have my prized possession, which is my Lisa Eldridge. Oh man, it's not doing so good. Velvet Ribbon. This is going to stay. This is the most beautiful lipstick ever. This is her classic, just blue toned red. Gorgeous packaging, going to be keeping these. And I will try to pick up more of her shades because it is a great lipstick. Next, I have this like little mini Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk. I actually really like this. I know this shade doesn't work on a lot of skin tones, but I don't know, I really like this shade. I do gravitate towards Pillow Talk quite a bit, so I understand the hype around it. That being said, I have this shade from Milani. This is the, I don't remember the name of this line, but they have incredible lipsticks. This is an incredible formula at the drugstore, and I have two shades, the shades Petal and the shade Secret. So Secret is supposedly a dupe for Pillow Talk. It's not exact, but it is very similar. I still do like the shade and I do get some use out of it. So I kind of interchange this with the Charlotte Tilbury one and it's a nice one. I'll be keeping this one. This is the shade Secret and this is kind of like was my like last summer's, oh my God, no. It's a good thing I put down this towel. This was kind of my go-to pop of color. This is what I like to use last summer and I like to blot it out for a sheer finish and I like to build it up too. I don't know, it's very versatile. It's a very pretty color. This is the shade Petal and I will be keeping this. This is the L'Oreal Color Riche lipstick in the shade Wisteria Rose. It looks really pretty, but on the lip, it actually, I don't know. It's very blue toned on me. It just really does not suit me at all. So I can mix it in with other things and get a decent color, but I don't want to anymore. So I will pass this along. This is the Milani lipstick in the shade Teddy Bear. So this is like a very nice formula. I don't know, I picked this color up on a whim. I thought it'd be nice for fall and it really is. I want it to make it work, but I just can't. I love the formula. I love the smell of it too. And the finish of it, like I said, this is the shade Teddy Bear. It's a brown. Whenever I'm going for a neutral lip, I do prefer it to have some pink in there. I like my reds to have, my apricots, my peaches, my corals. I like that pinky and red undertone that can be in there rather than a yellow undertone. And I feel like this one just really does not suit me at all. On the other hand, I have Charlotte Tilbury's Very Victoria. So this is also like a nude-y brown, but it has more pink in it. So I go for this one a lot more. This is actually the shade that I wore on one of my wedding days. The Milani one is gone and I will keep the Very Victoria one. These are the Maybelline Superstay ink crayons and I have it in 3 different shades. The first one I got was the shade Change is Good. And this is a really nice formula. I don't wear them super often because I have drier lips, so something that's like very long wearing and matte doesn't necessarily work on me for an everyday kind of thing. And these have a time and place in my collection. So this is Change is Good, very thin formula. It goes very pretty on the lips as well. This is the shade Reach High. Oh God, this is also a really nice color. It's very similar to, I would say, Very Victoria. And this is the shade Own Your Empire. And if I were to go for a red, I'll always choose the Lisa Eldridge one. I just feel like that's like a really, really nice red. Because I said that was like my prized possession, I don't love to travel with it everywhere. So if I ever need to like travel or something, instead of risking my Lisa Eldridge, I will take this. And because this is like quite long lasting, and I like to sometimes use this as a lip liner as well, if I'm going to be applying that on the center of my lips. So this will lock it in place. So I'm going to be keeping all 3 of these guys. Okay, next up, I would say that these are kind of in the category of lip tints, perhaps. So this is definitely is a lip tint. This is the Flower Beauty Bitten Lip Stain in the shade Play. And I will swatch that, not that I have very much space anymore to swatch anything. This is what it looks like. It's okay. I'm not entirely sure this is my favorite formula. I'll keep this one. This is the Shiseido Lacquer Ink Lip Shine, so probably not a stain, but I do know that this has a little bit of staining quality on my lips. And sometimes this kind of even looks a little too cool on my skin, but sometimes it works. On my lips, sorry. It is very pretty though. I will keep it. I like the formula of this a lot. This is, I'm kind of sad about because I got this in my latest Stylevana order. So this is the Romand Juicy Lasting Tint in the shade number 20 Dark Coconut. And this is my first experience with this formula, and I do really like the formula, but the shade just doesn't work. Like I said, I like to have a little bit of pink or red undertone in my products, and it almost like looks like from the applicator that it would. It just really doesn't give enough. It just doesn't suit me at all. I'm really sad about this, but I think I will pass this on, and I might pick up a number of shades in this, just not this one. Yeah, so these last categories are kind of getting a little bit wild. I don't really know what to call this. I think these are also stains. It's just that these might be, I don't know, these are bombs, I would say. I guess these are bombs. These are technically a very old product. I actually don't know if they make these anymore. These are the Revlon Just Bitten Kissable Bomb Stains. And all the writing is removed, but I was obsessed with these things at one point in my time, so that's why I remember these names so well. I have mine in the shade Honey. These were so good. I hope you can still get them. I was obsessed with Honey for the longest time. And this is probably my third tube of this. So I will keep this, finish this up, but I don't think that I gravitate towards this anymore. It's a really nice formula. Smells really nice, feels really nice on the lips, and does leave a lasting stain. I'll use this up, but I won't repurchase it, but I'll keep it for now. This, on the other hand, is the shade Crush, and I don't know, I have used this quite a bit, but it's too purpley for me now. I'll get rid of this. I don't gravitate towards it anymore. I've also had two other shades in this line. I believe they were Rendezvous, which was an orange one, and like a hot pink that I can't remember the name of. Those are long gone, and I was left with these two. But now I'm left with one, which is Honey. This I'm also really sad about. This is from my Yes Style order. I got the 3CE Plumping Lips in the shade Rosy. And I love, love, love this. This is like such a nice formula. I love this minty smell to it. Love the shine. It like really sticks to your lips. But this color is just, like I said, these two, I would not classify this as a rosy shade at all. It's definitely like orangey, apricot-y, peach, but without any of the pink that I'm looking for. So it really doesn't suit me. I can mix this in with like a pink liner or something, and it ends up with a really pretty shade. But I think I'll just like repurchase in different shades and get rid of this one. Okay, last section for this drawer. I'm not splitting this up into multiple sections. This is kind of like glosses and lip oils. So to start off with, I have the NYX Butter Gloss. It's a little mini size in the shade Creme Brulee. These were all the rage, and I mean, they're still really good products, but I don't really get any use out of this shade whatsoever. So I'm gonna pass this along. Next is the Makeup by Mario Moisture Glow Plumping Lip Color in the shade Soft Blush. This is recent. I got this as a gift, so I will be keeping this. This is what it looks like. It's one of my cooler toned options, like for nudes, but I think it's important to have an option. And the formula is all right as well for this, so I'll keep this. This is the Maybelline Lifter Gloss. Somehow I ended up with two of these. I can't find the other one, and it's the exact same shade. I don't think I bought both of them, but somehow I acquired both of them. This is the shade Petal, and I used this a lot last summer, and it's just like a nice springy shade, pretty opaque. This one has a little bit of shimmer, but it's really not that detectable. That is the shade of it. So I will keep this. This is the Milani Keep It Full Nourishing Lip Plumper Gloss, I guess, something, in the shade number 13 Rosewood. And this is just like a nice like nude-y gloss as well. More on like, I would say, the mauve-y side. This can get pretty opaque as well too, So I will keep this as well. This is a new acquisition. This is the Tower 28 Shine On Lip Jelly in the shade Sesame. It is very similar to the last shade I just showed. Well, I mean, there is a difference. It's a very pretty shade. Oh, so pretty. I'll be keeping this. And these are my lip oils. So I've been using this NYX Fat Oil, Lip Drip, whatever the name is. I've gotten some product on it by using it as a topper, but It is very nice. This is in the shade Mist Call. It's like just the lightest shade. It's not clear, but it just has like a light pink tone to it. This is my favorite product of last summer. This is the Milani Fruit Fetish lip oil, and this is in the shade Strawberry Melon. It smells really nice. Leaves like a stain, honestly, behind. And I think I'm almost like kind of running out of this, so I think I'll repurchase this at some point. It's kind of like one of those like pH adjusting ones. Oh, I love this one. And this is the Ulta Beauty Juice Infused Lip Oil. This is clear. They have a number of scents, I guess. Mine is in the scent something that is undetectable. I don't know, it says 367. They have a number of colors, but they really are just clear, all of them, so you can go with whatever. It does have a slight scent to it as well, but this is my only like clear kind of topper, so I will keep this. This has like a weird, almost like heat to it as well. It's not the most comfortable thing like in terms of sensation, but it is super glassy, as you can see. So that's really nice. So I'll be keeping this as well. Okay, so this is my final section. I don't keep these in my drawers. There isn't enough space, so I keep this in a separate drawer. These are all my eyeshadow palettes. I have a couple small ones, a couple of large ones, and so let's go through these. Okay, I guess I can go like smallest to largest. So my smallest one is this bite-sized eyeshadow palette in Rose Water. This is by e.l.f. I actually, to be completely honest, just bought it for this shade because I didn't have another palette at that time that had any matte kind of mauve-y pinky toned transition shades, and that's a very specific like description of a shade, but like I actually use that shade quite a bit for a lot of looks. I bought it for that. This eyeshadow, the palette itself is actually really nice. I have no complaints about these shades. I don't get too much use out of it anymore just because I have like these are the types of shades that I gravitate towards, so I pick up other palettes with other kinds of shades like this. I feel like I should keep it. It's handy for travel. I mean, this is a really good eyeliner shade. You kind of have everything you need for a simple look in here, and the shadows are not bad quality, so I think I'll keep it for now. And if I don't use it within the next couple of months or travel with it in the next couple of months, then I will pass this on. After that, I still have it in this packaging, but even though I've used it a few times, I just bought this in the Sephora sale. This is the Natasha Denona Mini Biba eyeshadow palette. It has 5 eyeshadows in it, and I've been looking to go more into like the peachy kind of apricot-y side. So this shade really called to me, and I mean, the rest of them are just like stunning, spectacular anyways. This is the first time I've owned a Natasha Denona palette, and I didn't necessarily want to love it because I know that her eyeshadows are quite expensive, but I don't know, I've been playing around recently with this and it is so nice. The texture that it leaves on your eyelids, it like makes your eyelids look smoother, it makes your eyelids look better. These things blend like a dream. You can build them up, like they're so pretty. That sparkly shade is like super pretty. Oh, this is a really nice palette too. I'm really glad I have it for now. So I'm going to get a lot of use out of this in the summer as well, so I'll keep this. Okay, so this is my only ColourPop palette that I've owned. I know that their formula is really nice, and I am familiar with their formula. I just haven't really ever gotten into their palettes because there are so many, I just don't even know how to choose. I probably will pick up a couple of their other options at some point if I ever get around to it. This is the Lucky Penny eyeshadow, I don't know, 9-pan palette. So, I mean, I don't know what came over me. I am always attracted to these like coppery, bronzy, gold shades and stuff, but on my eyes, honestly, like I can't go for super warm tone looks. I don't like the way that they look on my eyes. They just like attract me in the pans so much. So I ended up getting this, and I was able to make some more wearable looks out of it. Like I said, I can't go for these like super just warm tone, and that one actually really comes off as very warm tone as well. I was able to make a couple of looks out of here, but unfortunately my eyelids are quite reactive to certain ingredients, which I haven't been able to figure out right now, but that ingredient is definitely in this. And so whenever I have worn it, I've kind of gotten a bit of not actually a bit of, quite a bit of a reaction to it. So I just can't wear it anymore. I'm not going to risk it anymore. I'm not going to damage my eyelids any further. So I will be decluttering this and giving it to somebody that may not have that similar reaction. Okay, this is my Maybelline Nudes of New York. I have a tutorial using this palette up on my channel already. If you'd like to see that, I will link that in the video. This I bought solely for travel because it's actually a really nice compact size. It has pretty much every shade that you could need. The formula is actually really good for a drugstore in my opinion. It's not like a Natasha Denona like creamy type of formula, so these are like powdery powders, but that being said, like it's a really nice palette. You have matte shades in it, you have shimmer shades in it, you have transitional shades that can be used as eyeliner, and I mean it's a really overall nice palette. And you actually do even have this like shade that I've been looking for in other palettes, so like dusty kind of mauvey transitional shade. This is a really good palette to have if you just want one palette to travel with that can kind of like cater to all of your needs. So I will be keeping this. If you are aware of this palette, oh my god, look at this palette. This is the Balm Nude Tude palette. So this is like one of my earliest palettes. I got this at a time where I did not spend money on makeup and I did not own any other high-end products, and I will be keeping this because I'll tell you something. First of all, the shadows are really nice. I never got you, sorry, out of a couple of these shades, but the deeper shades, this shade Seductive is like a beautiful, oh my god, I'm gonna swatch it actually. It's very up my alley and it's a very nice like one and done type of shadow. But I actually won this on a YouTube giveaway very, very, very long ago. I doubt that YouTube channel exists anymore, and I was beyond excited, beyond grateful to have this palette. So I'm going to be keeping it. I doubt they make it anymore, but I'm going to be keeping it. I won't use it because it's way expired. It's very old. But I just have like so many memories attached to this, so I think I'll just like kind of keep this as like memorabilia. Okay, so this is another gift that I received kind of like randomly. This is the Profusion Cosmetics eyeshadow palette. This is the nude version. So Profusion is a brand at Walmart, and they have very inexpensive eyeshadow palettes, and they're actually really good quality. You wouldn't expect it to be that good. Usually their other palettes are in like a different format, so they're like kind of similar to this format where they have like the square pans. The mattes are incredibly gorgeous with this. I'm not super impressed by the shimmers. The mattes are really nice and I've dug into them quite a bit. It's just that all of a sudden I started reacting to this one as well. I can't risk having this around anymore, so I'll probably just get rid of this now because I can't use it. This is the Artemis palette by Alter Ego. This was trying to dupe the Natasha Denona, I believe the Metropolis palette, but this is the color story of it. So it has like a wide variation of shades. So that's one of the things that I liked about it. I bought this thinking that this would be like the end all be all palette where you have colors and you have mattes and shimmers and you have neutrals and you would never need another eyeshadow. And I don't know what I was thinking because I don't use a lot of these shades. I don't like use like a red shimmer shade. I don't use blues very often in my looks. Just haven't been super excited about like very warm tone looks on my own eyes, so like a lot of that eliminates a lot of these shades. On top of that, I like pinky shades, mauvey shades, cool tone shades, and you do get a couple of cool tone shades in this, but just not enough. I have tried to get as much use out of this palette as possible. I like to do some like dark green smoky eyes with this. That's not the greatest formula, I say, but I've given a very fair shot to this palette. If I keep it, it's for certain shades that I can dig into sometimes if I do like a special look. I don't even really have like my perfect transitional shade in this. Basically, it did not accomplish what I wanted to accomplish. I think I'm gonna have to make the decision to pass it along. Yep, I'll ask people that I know if they want it and see if anybody else is willing to take it off my hands, but I do not need it anymore, so this is going to be decluttered. The last palette and the last item I have on this declutter list is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam palette. It's still in its packaging because this velvety felt thing, I'm really not digging it. It's got a nice feeling on the fingers, but it attracts so much. And I only used it twice. After two times of using it, I've gotten like foundation and probably like eyeliner on it. It just doesn't want to stay clean. So I decided to keep it in its box. This is actually a newer palette for me. I haven't had this for very long. I bought it probably at the end of last year. It is beautiful. I'm enjoying this quite a bit. I actually have to get myself to stop kind of using this palette because it has a lot of the shades that would make a really nice look for me. So, I mean, it has one of those transition shades that I keep on talking about. So a dusty rose matte transition shade. Very nice mattes, very nice shimmers. The shimmers are so pretty. Even the colors that I haven't gotten to use very much, like Sultry and Mulberry, are very pretty and I really want to use them in looks. But I gravitate towards this palette quite a bit, and it doesn't have the probably most perfect transition shade for me, which would be just like a kind of a neutral toned medium brown, but I can always use my bronzer as that if need be. But this rustic shade and the burnt orange shade, they will suffice most of the time. But yeah, so I really like this palette and I will be keeping this. Anyways, that is the end of my declutter. This little stand has been bothering me this whole time, so if it has been bothering you, know that you are not alone. What can do? Thank you for watching and staying till the end if you are still here. If you like hearing my voice, if you want to see other videos of mine, please click on my channel, like, subscribe, and comment on my videos. It would really mean a lot to me and it would help me grow my channel. Bye!